So, have you heard of the modern woman life cycle?
Well, you have talked about it in the past, but I'm not really up to speed on it.
So, we have a modern woman life cycle, which we're going to go over. I'm going to tell you. And I
Uh,
want you to see if it's if it lines up with what you've seen out there.
Okay.
So, number one, go to some high priced institution to get a degree no one cares about to put ourselves in debt. Barely learn anything except how to use men for things. Then
Sounds legit. But back in the day, women used to go to college just to get their husband.
yeah, but come on, we're in
That
2024.
doesn't, yeah, you're
Could
right.
you stop selling dreams? What are you doing?
No, you're right. You're right. You're getting manipulated now.
Okay. Number two, get a job that's too stressful and does not care about them. In reality, the job is not that stressful, but we will complain about it.
Here's another thing is they'll swear up and down they will never be a slave to a husband, but they are more than willing to be a slave to a corporate overlord who will replace them at a whim,
Out of whim.
and you have no recourse.
You could die tomorrow. They'll have your job
That's
posting
right.
the
You are
next day.
completely expendable in the corporate world. And if you think you're not, you are smoking something other than a pole with two dick brains on it.
What about women that think they have a family at work, like a work family?
Yeah, that is a bunch of bull crap.
Mm.
Because I tell you right now, the minute you leave that office, you are going to be the center of all of the gossip and frenemies that you thought were your friends.
Next, we have ignore the student debt, buy
Yeah.
a house, travel, or get a luxury car.
Okay. Well, ignoring the student debt is will only work in the short term. It will come back to bite you in the ass later on. Luxury cars, literally, you roll it off the lot, you're losing 30% of its value the minute the tires hit the public streets.
We're not trying to be logical here.
I'm just saying that this is how a man thinks. Women are like, "Oh, it's so good. I will drive it by my frenemy's house and make them jealous."
Also overspend on things like plastic surgery, expensive gyms,
What about
fake hair,
the
fake
handbags?
nails, and
Oh my
handbags.
God, the handbags. Yeah.
But remember, they have debt, so they can't afford it.
Most of them really can't afford the lives that they have now.
Yeah.
I don't know, like, they're literally walking around in some kind of marijuana pipe dream smoke cloud, and unfortunately, when they're about 30-ish is when that wears off, and reality has been saving up one hell of a mule kick to kick them right in the box.
That's next. So wake up at 33 to 37, rush to get a husband, kids, or both. The fastest growing group of single mothers are women between the ages of 33 and 37, and only 2% of births come from insemination and 2% come from IVF. Where are these women getting their kids from? Well, a buzzer beater baby or a buzzer beater husband and baby, or Pookie or Ray Ray.
So the buzzer beater, you mean the Hail Mary pass?
Yeah, Hail Mary.
All right. Now, typically, if you find yourself, gentlemen, in this category, you are just the breeding stock. The minute she's done having kids, you're going to get ejected and you're going to have to pay that check for 18 to 21 years, depending upon the state that you are in. Don't fall for it.
Marry a naive or desperate guy with no options.
Yes, because that is so attractive. That's why they're going to rotate you out. You're there to
No standards either.
No,
Yeah.
you're there to, make basically a delivery directly to the warehouse, and hopefully she gets pregnant, and yeah, you'll be a father watching your children grow up and fast forward as you're living in poverty.
Hit late 30s and early 40s. Try to get pregnant by a loser or IVF. Then start antidepressants at 40. 24% of women between 40 to 59 are taking antidepressants.
That's an old stat. That's like almost 10 years old now, I believe. So I think that's one third.
I'll look check to see if it is 1/3 now.
Yeah, and also, I mean, they don't just start taking the head meds in 40. They're taking them like out of high school now.
Yeah, I've heard in college they're like going nuts over it.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't understand what the I just don't understand the headspace that's going on with the ladies of today. They have like totally been swamped by social media. They believe all the hype and lies. Because listen, feminism is not your friend. You're not going to be able to have it all. Or let check that. Let me correct. You can have it all, but you will only do it half as well. Last time I checked, a 50% is a failing grade. So yes, you can have it all and you will fail at it all. Do you really want that? That doesn't sound very good.
Which takes us to our next point. Maybe love the child, but hate him for having to settle. Or have the state raise your kid, or have daycare raise your kid.
Actually, the daycare thing is very common. My children had to go to daycare, and
It's
it was interesting.
or resent the children for having to give up her hobbies. Now, men give up hobbies all the time for a family
Oh, in a
because you have
heartbeat.
less, yeah, you have less free time. You have to give up things you like doing. But for some reason, women say they are losing themselves when they can't do the same things they did before they had children.
So yeah, they hold a grudge, and you don't even know about this grudge. It's literally running in the background of their software. It's like a virus. You one day you're just doing your thing. It's the same day as every other day before it, and then boom, I'm not happy. I'm going to Titanic your entire life. Wow, and then they go completely batshit crazy, and you're like, how did we get here? What what flow chart of insanity am I on?
Yeah, we do. Now, last in the modern woman life cycle is to buy a dog or a cat, divorce your husband if you got one, and die alone.
Box wine in Catland. 40 to 80 is a long fucking time. And you put yourself there, and you deserve it, ladies. Quit whining and complaining about it. Oh, I'm sorry. That's what you do at your stock and trade.
Yeah, so what do you think about that? Accurate? Did I miss
It's fairly
anything?
accurate. Yeah. I would say that the head meds start a little earlier
Where would you put that starting at?
in the college.
Head meds may start in college.
And listen, gentlemen, when you go to a woman's house, you excuse yourself to go to the bathroom, take your phone with you, take pictures of all of the medicine in the medicine cabinet. You can Google it later. If it's head meds, run. If it's like anti-herpes stuff, run because it is going to train wreck your life. Now, I'm going to be honest. Crazy pussy is the best pussy there is. Nothing will do cheetah flips better on your peg D than a crazy pussy. But at some point, that pussy's going to wear out and you're just stuck with crazy. That's how you catch a case, get your shit burned, shot, hit with scalding water while you're sleeping. It just goes on from there. I got you laughing.
Yeah. Now, there's a couple phases that women can go through during this, hoe phase.
Yeah, I'm familiar with whole face.
After that, they go to the Christian phase, the health phase, usually after gaining a bunch of weight or an
You mean
STD.
after they pull the pin on the fat grenade?
Yeah, they gotta get husband number two, so they go
No,
to the
here's the
gym.
thing with wedding cake. Wedding cake will inoculate your soon-to-be wife against blowjobs and overabundance of sex, and will pull the pin on the fat grenade. She will blow up, double in weight in 5 to 7 years. Blame it on kids, stress, whatever. But she will get so big, you'll become the moon
Did
that
that
orbits
happen
her.
to you?
Actually, no, thank God. No. Well, I would have none of that.
So what happens? Do they just start eating double what they ate before?
I really don't know. I think well, first of all, maintaining a healthy weight and staying in shape requires, I don't know, what's that word? Work? And the other word, yeah, discipline. Discipline and work. Now, if you're doing discipline in work for a certain objective, say getting married, well, once you get the objective, a lot of times they stop the discipline in work because it really isn't part of their character naturally. So they revert to what they really are, which is a walking womalo. It is what it is.
Now, the next phase, a healing phase.
Well, yeah. I had such a traumatic childhood. My father's, beat me in the boot when I was bad. Like they have all of this like trauma that they got to process and get through. Listen, life sucks. If you make it to 18 and your parents didn't leave you with some type of syndrome or complex, they didn't do their job. I'm serious. You're not going to have that mother and father like, oh, let's just be healthy It'll be good. It's not going to happen. Not if they want you to be a productive individual in society who's not a perpetual victim. Because if you're soft with your children, they will fall prey to predators and be victims for the rest of their life. So you're going to have to crack the whip and make them realize when they're young, like, yes, there are people out there who will do bad things to you. There are people out there who will steal, lie to you, hit you, do all kinds of horrible shit. You need to know this now. Because when you're an adult and you get hit by surprise, it's way worse.
Then when they do get hit by surprise, they enter the therapy phase.
Yeah.
Yeah, the therapy.
Yeah. And listen, I have PTSD. I've been to many sessions of therapy. The guy that I went to was a force recon dude from Vietnam. He's since passed away, God rest his soul. And I went to a couple other therapists, and I walked out because they both had big tits. It's just too distracting.
Did you tell them that?
Yes.
Wait,
I'm literally like halfway through. I'm like, I'm just going to pay for the rest of the session now. I just can't do it. You got the double D missiles upstairs. It's just not going to work for me.
Well, your first mistake was going to a female therapist.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, next is the above it all era, where they pretend they're above it all, or magically doing the same things they used to do.
Yeah. The magically delicious.
Raise your standards era.
Yeah. Well, listen, once you get to a certain age, raising your standards is rephrased as setting up a permanent booth in singledom land. Because the standards are crazy high as it is.
I know.
I don't know. I'm not doing a million sit-ups, earning, millions of dollars and going through all of that craziness for a woman that's probably going to stab me in the back anyway and has been ran through.
The trad wife era. Former hoes love this era.
Well, the trad wife, wasn't that a theme like a year and a half ago? It's just bait. Even the women are like, oh, I'm a traditionalist.
Oh,
really?
I
Did
need
you
to-
get married at 18?
I need to show you one, actually.
Oh, here we go.
Hold on. I need to show you this video because it's really funny. So there's this ex OnlyFans whore that
Who?
did you see when Michael Knowles interviewed Nala Ray?
No.
So Michael, I'll tell you this lore. So
Explain. Nala Ray is who?
she did porn.
The-
She got like tag teamed on camera.
All right.
So she did she was a very big, making millions of dollars.
So she
off
got
of-
professionally wrestled?
Yeah.
on
Yeah.
camera?
Yeah. So anyways, she converted and Michael Knowles brings her on the podcast.
Now, what was this
And
tag team WWF? Was it a grudge match? Was there a dirty O-ring involved? Did he blow the seal? Because I believe that is expressly forbidden in the good books of this world, and it's usually called sodomy, and a whole city was destroyed because of it. I'm just saying.
well, yeah, but so Michael Knowles said, right this way, you said so she got baptized and does this whole
And she's all better.
yeah.
Come on. Show me the clip. This is going to be great.
And essentially I was the one pointing out that she still had an active OnlyFans.
Ooh.
And
I remember this now.
and every mistake, like everything she would just say, oh, well, I can't delete it. Like there would just be an excuse in the book. There would be,
Women with excuses? No.
yeah, but these simps buy them. Like
Yeah, I
Michael.
know.
And,
And that's going to come to an end. At some point, the dudes are going to be like, wait a minute. I'm throwing out thousands of dollars to a talking woman on a screen, and I'm not getting my pee-pee touched.
so he brings her on, and during this show, they have a conversation about me.
Oh.
And yeah, I'm gonna need to show you this because it's so bad. Like, and I have been asking for an apology because I was right. Nala Ray. I haven't gotten it yet. I'm still waiting. So where are they? I got a whole timestamp.
Really?
Yeah, look at this.
All right.
This is so funny.
Jump to a conclusion.
Yeah.
I had a very
Oh, wait.
big observe and listen.
That person is a fake. She didn't really
Yeah.
get out. And I'm thinking of this other a sparrow, and these things all fall in providence.
Him.
which-
More than precious rubies, the Bible says. The Proverbs woman,
yeah.
you know, she's more than precious
You
rubies.
have ruby-colored hair.
Yes, I do.
So he's
Actually,
implying.
her hair looks like Ronald McDonald's hair. I'm just saying.
But so I interviewed.
Which I know is controversial to some people, but
So I was actually going to mention. I had an odd experience, Nala, which is that I really not only was I not familiar with your past career,
yeah.
but I wasn't even really familiar with the story of your conversion, this
Yeah.
wonderful story. I just wasn't aware of it. I'm interviewing someone, and I mentioned how there have been a couple people in the chat of my show. So we're talking about people who are full members, who are commenting every day, who worked in varying degrees of, and who kind of came out of it. And I was thinking of one person in particular who, I've just sort of interacted with in the show and maybe on Twitter a little bit. But this person I was interviewing, Pearl Davis,
Oh, here we go.
I think she thought I was talking about you.
Yes.
And
I got that vibe very heavily when I watched the interview.
so she never said your name, and I didn't know who you were. But she's saying, oh, that person is a fake. She didn't really get out. And I'm thinking of this other person from my chat. I said, I don't know, I think.
She had active chats.
All right, so hang on a minute. If you work out 5 times a week, would you say you're in good shape?
Yeah.
Okay. If you work out once a week?
No.
All right. So if you go to church on Sunday and say you're saved, but the rest of the 6 days you're getting your tonsils stabbed and you're getting a bunch of throat yogurt put in all kinds of different orifices and charging money for it, I don't think that 1 day a week really counts.
So, but they're saying she did. So she did delete her OnlyFans.
Oh, she did finally. Okay.
No, it did. So I'm going to give you the time frame. December, she got baptized. After that, she raised her OnlyFans prices. She raised them 3 times up higher.
Okay.
Then she announced on the platform that she's not going anywhere. I think her intention was to change maybe the type of content.
All right.
But stay on OnlyFans. Then people start getting on her ass about it. So she ends up the day before this interview.
Were they getting on her ass about it on camera?
The day before this interview. No. At that point, she's not producing more corn. But the day before this interview, she deletes it. But even when this interview is taking place, there's still WhatsApp or Telegram chats selling her nudes and stuff. Now she's claiming she doesn't.
Corn?
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's claiming she doesn't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the old And Michael is just eating this bullshit.
Well, okay, let's just be honest. He's a Daily Wire guy, right? And again, these are the talking heads that literally want to sacrifice the men of this world on the fire of civilization for their own justification and needs. And they have to do this. They have to play both sides of the equation, or they'll get demonetized or blackballed and done away with. These people are part of the problem. We have so many men committing suicide at breakneck speed because the civilization is sick. No one wants to talk about the symptoms, and they sure as hell don't want to talk about how to cure it.
Pretty sure I've followed this. I'm pretty sure, but what do I know?
I just love that you're on such a different
We're talking about
wavelength.
totally different things. And then later, maybe she or you, someone had posted about this, and I said, "Oh, it's about this girl." Okay, well, I don't know. Maybe she's a fake. Maybe I don't know anything about her. But then I kind of looked into it a little bit. And now we've been chatting for.
He didn't look into it at all. Or if you did, you didn't bring any of the facts up.
Yeah.
I don't know, 10 hours, and it feels like 10 minutes.
Feels like 5 minutes.
Right, and you seem sincere. It totally seems real. So
I feel like that's to test.
You seem sincere. Somebody's selling their butthole on OF, but you've changed, right? Now, don't pay attention to the fact that I have unnaturally colored hair. Kind of looks like a poisonous tree frog. And
Caked on makeup.
yeah, if you mess with a poisonous tree frog and you have a cut on your hand, you will die. Don't mess with the poisonous tree frog. There you go. You heard it from Pop. Don't do it.
We are asked to test the spirits and look at the fruit of the spirit and not to judge that person. That
Here we go.
A true Christian, a true believer of Christ will watch and observe and listen and not jump to a conclusion.
Yeah.
I had a very big, I wouldn't say issue, but it was a very controversial video that she made about me. And
And I'd do it again.
had to just pray. I needed to pray because I felt like I was getting heated about it, and that wasn't the right attitude to have at all. Like, I really wanted to respond more in kindness than anything.
that is the time to put away Twitter or X now. The moment you start to actually get angry, put it away.
Put it away. It
Nothing-
wasn't even, I deleted my Twitter. I don't have Twitter. I didn't know I was being spoken about on Twitter at all. I had just watched her YouTube video on me, and it was, I couldn't even finish it because there were so many loose ends, and I don't want to say it this way, but lies, outright
Hold it
lies
right there.
being
Loose ends.
Yeah.
There you go.
And she says, "Oh, you're lying." Okay,
All right, hang on,
prove it.
hang on. All
Yeah.
right, let me get this straight. All right. She is a former OF model who has been saved. And who am I to say that she's not?
Mhm.
I don't know. I don't walk in those circles.
Mhm.
Maybe I should more, but it is what it is. So I'll take my chances. But men are logical creatures. We have to, on a regular basis, make predictions about our futures, and we based those predictions on stuff we've witnessed in the past. That's how it's done. That's how all the markets do it. That's how they do it for gold. They do it for Bitcoin. You look at how it's performing and you can predict what's going to happen in the future. And there are people out there who are very, very accurate at doing so because it works. You have this woman here with, let's just be honest, this is beyond a colorful past. And Jesus might give you a pass. Good on him for it. I'm not going to berate anyone for that. But in the current year, where if a man makes one mistake, he's literally turned into a slave for 18 to 21 years, sometimes for the rest of his life. It's not worth it. I'm not going to take you on face value. I'm not going to watch and listen. I am going to predict based on your former actions. And every man out there with more than 2 brain cells to rub together needs to start doing that.
She had a simp sign up. She's married now.
Oh, good for her.
Yeah. Guess what? Christian guy.
Yeah.
They always get like, guys.
said about me that I felt the need to correct, but that was like my flesh. My flesh was
Yes,
like,
right.
that's wrong. Like I don't know why I'm being perceived this way by this woman who's never spoken to me, never reached out to me, and I am only now in her
I did invite her on the show, but she didn't take it. I would have brought her receipts up, so maybe she wouldn't like that too much.
eye because of my change, right? And she does say that she's a Catholic.
Yeah, I don't know that she assents to the doctrines of the Catholic faith, but as we discussed, I mean, one
So he's implying that I'm not a real Catholic, while also implying that the ex OnlyFans whore is.
You got to use the right acronym. HOE is Horizontal Orientated Entertainer.
Ho.
Ho.
Ho. Look, I'm not saying I'm the best Catholic. I would never give.
Who is?
I would never give myself as a model to look up to. There's better women. Like, go find someone better than me. But it's just a slap in the face when it's someone that literally got tag teamed on camera. You are co-signing. And me who has never done no porn, nothing out there. I did the bare minimum.
and they're begrudging you.
Yeah. I'm like,
What are you gonna do?
where is my star for not doing it? Like, nothing. She gets
can go back and watch the interview.
Yeah.
But at the very least, she said this thing. I really don't mean to beat up on her for it because a lot of people say this, but she said, like, look, I was raised Catholic. I went to Catholic school. But and the minute you ever hear that preface, you can be 100% certain you were about to hear the least Catholic thing you ever heard in your life.
Absolutely.
You know what I said? I said I believe in divorce in cases of paternity fraud. That was my unreasonable but that goes against the Catholic Church, I guess.
Well, listen, okay. I am not Catholic. I was raised in a Christian environment. My grandfather was a minister. And I spent lots of time in the back seat of the car while he was doing his work, driving around, giving blessings, last rites, because I used to go with him on the weekends when he'd go to hospitals and stuff. And quite a few times he'd be in the waiting room and he'd be like, yeah, they have a daughter over there. She's a flaming whore. And I'd be like, and I was like 8. I'm like, whore. Okay. I got it.
Yeah, she was a pastor's kid.
Oh, I am
Yeah.
shocked.
Yeah, I know.
Now listen here, I met the nuns once when I was in 8th grade, and so anyway, but
I was raised as a monk,
Yeah.
but
but so I was very confused when I saw it, but I said, oh, I ought to keep an open mind. Who knows? There are charlatans out there.
yeah.
I think you have a very good attitude about it, and it's an attitude that I've tried to take, which is, our Lord, when he's on trial and they're making up all this stuff about him, he just doesn't
He's
say anything.
silent.
He's comparing her to Jesus now.
He's silent.
He's silent.
What are you going to?
So this is my theory about it. So when someone has a hot cup of coffee and they spill it all over themselves, but you're right next to them and a little bit gets on you, are you more concerned with that tiny bit of coffee spilt on you,
Yes.
or how or how they are burning?
I was thinking, I'm like, I'm not burning. I just don't believe you. Like that's
Yeah.
it. That's it.
Like I don't. Can you hear me? Okay. I don't have a dog in this fight at all. All right. I don't give two shits in the 10 Commandments about this Ronald McDonald lookalike. Look at that face right there. I don't care. All I care about is this. I do what I do to save lives. And there are thousands, if not millions of women out there willing to have this crazy past and either deceive you, oh, I'm changed now, or they don't ever tell you about it. And you have to find out, on the rough later. And it's killing men. I mean, men are killing themselves over shit like this. I mean, think about it. You marry a woman, you're with her 5, 6 years, got a couple kids, and, she gets sick and tired of you, says that I'm not happy, and your life is ruined. And you didn't know that, she was a prostitute in college with a body count of 40. Because the minute women go over, some of the studies are 5, some are 8 sexual partners, their chances of staying in a long-term marriage drop into the 20 percentile. If you had known that ahead of time, maybe you wouldn't have married this woman or had children with her.
I think they still would. No,
Well, I'm
I'm telling
trying.
you, I try to tell these simps sometimes. I'm like, guys, bad idea.
Yeah.
And they
Yeah.
call me a doomer, and I'm like, all right, good luck.
That's right.
Go-
That's right. Because, was it 50 to 56% of first marriages will end in divorce within 10 years?
Mhm.
If you do it again, it goes up to 62 to 65%. And if you do it again, 72 to 75%. And that's just the base percentile. When you throw in if she's college educated, if there's stepkids, if there's financial problems,
Mhm.
or he
She
gets
out-earns
sick,
you.
yeah, those
For sure.
those divorce numbers go way up. Like when I came back from Iraq, I had a TBI and a minor stroke.
Mm.
And my now ex-wife was like, fuck it, I'm out of here. I'm not taking care of this guy for the rest of my life. And that was it. I got crucified. And I've seen the same thing happen to hundreds of my friends and acquaintances. And in the past 15 years, I've talked to thousands of men who, the minute they find out, like, oh, I got laid off, they get served divorce paperwork. Or I got diagnosed with MS, you're getting divorced. It's screwed up.